Dusty boots, some older clothes. Ain't
The perfect appetizer with cowboy candy, saltine cracker, pimento cheese, and a slice of cowboy candy on top.
sunrise
Don't get
greets
no
me
better
with
than
a
that, boys
touch
and
of
girls.
gold. Cattle lowing as the dawn unfolds. Saddle up, head toward.
Welcome back to A Country Boy Can Cook. This morning, got a good thing on the menu. Cowboy candy. Let me show you how I'm going to make this. I got a box in the mail the other day. If you can see that or not. It was from Mississippi Mud Farmer out of LA. I put this in the fridge and it's full of jalapenos that he picked out of his garden. He sent me. And I've used a couple already, fresh ones. Oh, there's an okra. He slipped in there. Anyway, I'm going to take and chop all these up and make cowboy candy out of them. Well, I don't know about the okra, but I may try it just for the heck of it. And I'm going to go from there. So my next door neighbor come over the other day, and I said, "Did you see that box out on my porch?" He said, "No, I hadn't seen it." And I said, "Well, let me get these washed off. I know he's washed them, but get them drained and rinsed." I said, "Yeah." I said, "I didn't even know it was out there." I said, "Neighbor Tony, he's the guy that lives across the street." I said, "I seen him running up to the house with a fire extinguisher." And I thought, I wonder where he's going with that fire extinguisher. And then he stopped at my porch, and I went out and opened the front door, and there was this box just blazing. He was putting it out, and he said, "What is that?" Of course, I was just joking with Porter. It was just these hot jalapeno peppers, and no, there wasn't no Tony, and there wasn't no fire extinguisher. I just pulling Porter's leg. So anyway, let me get these rinsed off right quick, and I'll bring them back to you, and we'll get to slicing. It's a pretty quick recipe. Over here so then I'm dribbling everywhere. Anyway, then I told my uncle that story. He got a kick out of it. He said he was clearing out the garden before it got cold, and so let's get to slicing, because I'm going to make cowboy candy out of these. I don't want them paper thin. I want enough to, because they kind of shrivel up once they're cooked. I don't even know how many this is. It really don't matter. I had one the other day. It was really mild. And then I had another one with my eggs, or a pair of them with my eggs one morning. One of them was mild and sweet, and the other was set your tongue on fire. You never know about jalapenos. You just want them all sliced in about the same size. This stuff is great. I've made this before. It's great to pour over the top of a block of cream cheese. Have some special little crackers out there to dip it with, and even the people that don't like spicy foods love this stuff. It's the sugar in it, and it's cooked down with sugar. I'll show you what I've got going over here on this other side here in just a minute. It's I use brown sugar. You can use white sugar. I actually use both. And It's cooked down into a simple syrup made with vinegar, apple cider vinegar. So what the recipe is on the sugar, and I'll have this out at the end of the video. It's early. It's like 4:30, 5:30 in the morning. There's 1.5 cups of brown sugar and 1/2 cup of white sugar. Like I say, I mean, if you got a mandolin, you could slice these kind of thin. I just prefer them kind of on the thick side. You can see that it's about as wide as my finger. All right, let's get the rest of these sliced up. I will tell you, after I get through slicing these, I'm going to wash my hands up. Don't make the mistake of not washing your hands up. Most of the time these red ones are sweeter. This is part green and part red. I don't know about that. And what we're going to do with this little baby okra that got slipped in there, shoot, I'm going to put it in there too. All right, back with you after wash my hands. Believe me, after you do this, and most people just wear gloves when you're doing this. Some people just can't handle the capsaicin, which is in these peppers. It's the same stuff that they make pepper balls out of and pepper spray. Of course, that's a lot more concentrated. But I'm gonna tell you, boys and girls, it's some hot stuff. It reminds me when I was a kid and we were all out at the lake camping, having a good time, and one of my buddies had a few too many, threw too many throwbacks one night. That was when there was Papa Tops. There was even a song, Papa Top Again. Don't shoot me because I had a little tune there, but he had too many, and I remember later that evening, or probably 1 or 2, 3 in the morning, he decided he needed to go take a break in the woods. How's that? So he went over. I noticed him leaning up on this big old oak tree out in the woods out there. It's kind of dark, but you could kind of see in the moonlight. He come back and he said, "Yeah, that was great." He had been drinking all night, drinking beer. So he was giving it back. You just rent beer anyway. You know what that means. You drink it and it goes right out. So the next morning, we all got up, maybe 10 o'clock when the sun got up and we could see again. And I don't know why, but I was looking at that old oak tree over there that he was leaning on, and that thing had all the way around the bottom, all the way up the side. It had poison oak and poison ivy all around it. And then I had a flashback of him kind of leaning up on this tree. Well, after he woke up, he said, man, I'm itching like really bad, you know where he was itching. And I said, I wonder why. And he said, I don't know. He said, like, looks like I got a rash or something. I did not want to see the rash, but I take his word for it. And what had happened, he got his hands on that poison ivy or poison oak, whichever it was, and he, well, you know where he had his hands, where the boys put it, and he got pretty sick over that for 3 or 4 days. He ran fever, had, his wife had to take him to the hospital emergency room, and they I forget what all they gave him. They gave some antihistamines or something like that. So anyway, be careful of these peppers. Wash your hands before, if you go make a potty run. Don't rub your eyes, and don't call me back and say, well, you didn't tell me to do that, because I'm telling you, make sure your hands are clean before you do anything once you handle these peppers. So you can see I've got them all chopped up, even my little oak right here. So I've got 1.5 cups of brown sugar, and that's actually smoked brown sugar that I make, and 1/2 cup of white sugar. I've got 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, this is some pickling spice, you're just going to make a syrup out of this. Where's my whole, oh, there it is. Going to make a simple syrup. Going to cook this down. So that is going to be 1 tablespoon of McCormick pickling spice. Oh, need one other thing here. This is my Texas tumbleweed seasoning. I use this stuff on everything. I'm gonna put 1 teaspoon of it in here. If you're wondering what goes in Texas tumbleweed, too many things to tell you, but I've got a video with a recipe on how I make that. It was a guarded secret for years, but I thought I would share it with everybody, and a couple of people have got back with me and said, oh, that's really good stuff. So anyway, let me get this on the stove and get the flames up high. Well, ain't no flames, but you know what I mean. All right, I'm gonna turn this on high until it all melts together. I'm gonna let it come to a boil for about 4 minutes anyway, before I put the peppers in. I don't have an exact time because it depends on how many peppers you're putting in, or even the exact amount. But this is just what I start out with. If you have any syrup left over, that's great, drizzled on steaks or chicken. It's that sweet, spicy taste. All right. I'll bring you back here in just a little bit. All right, you can see she's starting to boil. It won't take long. Where you're bringing this to a rolling boil, stir it around. You don't want to burn your sugar. What you're doing right now is dissolving that sugars into the vinegar. Once it comes up to a boil and boils for, I don't know, maybe a minute or so, and it looks like it's dissolved everything, I'm going to turn it down. It'll still be boiling, but I'm going to turn it down probably to, to maybe high, medium high or something like that. And let it cook and really dissolve all the sugars in it. This is a great recipe. There you can see she's coming on up there. Boy, it smells really good too. Alright, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I want it to continue to boil, but not as heavy. I don't want to burn it. Don't want to scorch the sugar in it. All that wonderful spice from the pickling spice. That smells wonderful. Alright, I'll bring you back here in a minute. Alright, you can see she's boiling away and it's on medium. And we'll test it here in just a second. Make sure it's not getting too thick. You can see the color, it's dark brown. It's kind of coating the back of the spoon, as they say. Alright, I'm going to put the peppers in. Be careful putting these in. There goes my little okra. We'll see what it tastes like. It might be a new recipe. Cowboy okra. I love pickled okra, matter of fact. But it's always got a lot of salt in it. Let's see here. Baby's coated really good. Alright, I'll turn it back up. Just keep stirring these around. You want them cooked down a little bit. They're just starting to wilt down. Some of the thinner ones are. You can see they're changing looks. I can tell you, be careful. If you cook this too long, you'll have jalapeno brittle. Yeah, ask me how I know that. I cook my pralines and pralines and candy, and I don't use a thermometer. Maybe I should, maybe a bees, but I just go by the seat of the pants. I just see it starting where it starts to getting thick and running off the spoon. And I know it's not, especially on this, you want it just enough to coat the spoon. And you can see it's already kind of coating it on the back side. Boy, I might throw that stuff in my coffee. No, it's all right. I'm gonna turn it back down now that it's been boiling for about 2 or 3 minutes on a heavy boil. I'm gonna let it simmer a little bit. I want this thick. I want the syrup to be thick. And check it with a metal spoon, not the silicone. Is it thin? It's a little thicker. It's got a beautiful color. Golden brown look. And see how the back of it's doing. Oh yeah, you can see where it's not running. When I ran that across there, it's staying. Well, guess what? That is spicy right there. That'd be good on some eggs. It'd be really good on some breakfast tacos or some dinner tacos, or maybe some pork chops or You name it, it'd be good. I think it's getting close to being ready to go. I just want the peppers to cook down. You can see they're not dark green anymore. They're kind of a light color, which tells me they're cooked down. So I'm gonna turn them off. Yeah, you can tell you're cooking peppers. No doubts about it. Alright, let me get something to hold this pan up here with. Be careful, like I said, boys and girls, this hot stuff. Over here so you can see it a little better. And like I said, you can keep on cooking this down until it gets really thick and barely runs off the spoon. At that point, you know, once it cools down, it's going to turn into like pecan praline, except it'll be jalapeno praline. And you maybe could put some pecans or peanuts and something with it and make it. I don't know. I just made it by mistake one time and it was good. So, all right. I got some jars here. Get this over here so I can get my jars filled. I said there's all kinds of things you can use this on. And the have some coffee here. Oh, that's good. I don't know if I've got a funnel that size or not. Let me look here. I think I've got another jar I'm going to use. A little bit wider mouth. Just an old pickle jar. Best made pickles. That'll fit in that better. Alright, let's get this scooped out in here. You can put this in your fridge. I don't know how long it'll last. It never lasts me but a week or so. Get this out of here. We'll have to do a taste test on that okra that I just pulled out of there. Perfect amount there. Let's see if I can get a Get a hold of this pan without it burning me. Pour some juice over in here. I'm spilling some on my cutting board, but that's okay. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect. Mash these down here. It's great on hot dogs, by the way. If you're one of the thousands of people that like hot dogs, which I am one. Alright. So I'm going to let that cool a little bit before I put the lid on. I'll just stick it back here. Let it cool down a little bit. I've got a little bit left over here. I don't think it'll melt my container here. I'll give this to my neighbors, Hales. I'm definitely not going to put a lid on that right now. I'm going to let it cool down until until I know it's not going to melt the container. So far, so good. Well, there you are, boys and girls. It's just that simple to make cowboy candy. I mean, it's just jalapenos, and you can just use water and sugar to make this. All right, let's get a taste of this. My little spoon here, you can see everything's just sliding off the back real slow. It's real thick. It's spicy. Spicy good is what it is. All right, let's get a bite of one of these. Get my sample silverware here. I know it's going to be good. You see it's still smoking a little bit. I don't mind the heat, but I don't want the heat if you get my drift. I like having a tongue that has taste buds left on it. All right, let's go for it. That's good. Tastes like jalapeno. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of thick syrup on it. And after it cools down, it's going to get thicker. So thank you for being part. Oh, wait a minute. Let's try the okra. I don't know. I'm going to tell him he needs to get his glasses on to look at this okra. That ain't no little pepper, but I'm going to try and see how it works. Well, doggies, that might be a new recipe. Cowboy okra. Well, that's actually pretty good now. The okra's cooked. It's not slimy like you think. A lot of people don't like okra, so it's slimy. It's not that. Well, Mississippi Mud Farmer, why didn't you send me some more okra? I'll definitely buy some okra just to do this with. I'll leave them whole and cook them down and then cool them off and see what they taste like. It'd be a great side dish for like a steak or with mashed potatoes and chicken. That's the deal, Lucille. Anyway, thank y'all for being here for my videos. I do appreciate it. We're channel's slowly building, and it's all because of you all. And I do thank you. If you subscribed, I appreciate it. Hit that notification button, or bell actually, that way you don't miss any of my videos. And leave me a comment. Have you ever had cowboy candy? Have you ever made cowboy candy? One of my next videos is going to be, speaking of spicy stuff, I'm getting everything ready, let me say that right, to make the ultimate BLT. I've got some pretty maters here. I want to make a wonderful BLT sandwich. And I've got Billy E's bacon out of Fairhope, Alabama, same town my uncle lives in. He's thick sliced. And I'm going to do candied cowboy bacon. And then when I make my BLT, it's going to be have these jalapenos on it, the cowboy candy. It's going to have the cowboy bacon on it too, the ultimate. And it's going to be in French la bread, on French bread. How's that? So, and I'll be toasting that. So be sure you subscribe so you don't miss that video. And I'll just talk to y'all in the next video. See you later. The perfect appetizer with cowboy candy, saltine cracker, pimento cheese, and a slice of cowboy candy on top. Yeah, don't get no better than that, boys and girls.
Saddle up, head towards the stream, chasing those endless cowboy dreams. Cowboy dreams that keep me strong in the saddle where